Greetings, what's going on? It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com. Hopefully you're living the dream. I'm over here in Jomtien in my favorite little defunct fountain, and one of the things that it just sort of popped into my head, something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while is changing priorities. And you know, I'm over here in Pattaya area, right? And obviously my life is a little different now than certainly when I was doing videos before. In the sense that, you know, I don't have a full-time 9 to 5, if you will, that I go to regularly, and therefore I don't just, you know, do that on a day-to-day basis, come over here on vacation, and then, you know, make a few videos of my life over here, and then go back there and work, which was enjoyable for a long time, generate revenue to basically save up, as well as generate vacation days to save up, to put together, to fly back over here, to go on vacation, to make more videos, to then, right? So now I'm over here full-time. And my priorities over here have changed. Now, when I first came to Thailand, I first came to Bangkok for a few days, and I shared that before. And then from there, I came down to Pattaya, the recommendation of some friends. And I had a great time. I mean, there was so much available here in Pattaya that is not available in the United States. And I will let you Google and YouTube that to find out, you know, what I mean, right? But, you know, I was single and I was in my mid-40s, and I was like, wow, this is like really an awesome place. And it was inexpensive. I was able to really expand my horizons, and I was really able to see a world that I never thought existed. And I'm not just talking about the negative connotation that a lot of people will associate with Pattaya. I'm talking about inexpensive hotels, inexpensive food, a whole lot of freedom, the ability to experience new things like Buddhism. And I know that's sort of, you know, anti-Pattaya, right? If you were to, like, you know, what the negative connotation about Pattaya is. But I mean, I'd never been to a Buddhist temple. And so, you know, I go to Big Buddha, right, up in the top of Pratamnak Hill. And that was an amazing experience. And yeah, I mean, look, I met girls, okay, along the way. But they opened me up to a whole bunch of stuff here in Pattaya, not the least of which was, you know, their family values and how they, you know, were here taking care of themselves, but taking care of their family, and just tons and tons and tons of things. So that was really cool, you know, and I got attention, and I was sexy man, and I was rich, right? I mean, you know, there's no secret to the fact that, you know, guys that come over here that are just on vacation, and let's face it, even if you go just on vacation, like to Orlando, you're spending way more money in that 1 to 2 weeks that you're in Orlando than that 1 to 2 weeks in your hometown, whether it's Boston or expensive New York City, San Francisco, San Diego, or reasonably priced, you know, Dallas, or, you know, even maybe potentially expensive Austin, but, you know, other cities, Gainesville, Florida, right, whatever. But the point is that, you know, so you're spending more money to begin with, but, you know, we're called 2-week millionaires. And I definitely was. I was a 2-week millionaire. Now, I didn't come over here and spend 1 million baht. I probably spent a couple 100,000 baht. But the point is that, you know, the world was my oyster, right? And there was all of this new. And again, street food, amazing food available on the sidewalk, and incredibly inexpensive to get from point A to point B. And people that were just smiling and friendly and all of this. And so my priorities were like, oh my God, I got to meet a lot more of these people. So never in my life had I like been somewhere and then come back 90 days later. I went back to my office and said, look, I still have 2 weeks vacation and plus a few days by the time April shows up. So I got back to the office like mid-January, and I'm like, I'm going on vacation again in April. So I came back over here in April and spent 2 weeks, got to know some more people, had an amazing time, just went crazy in Songkran, water everywhere, and, you know, loved it. Traveled a little bit more, met some new people, and just had a great old time. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So, you know, my priorities were, you know, I'll be honest, they were focused on girls. And, but I was like, you know, that was great. And I met a lot of wonderful people. And then my buddy said, well, you should come over here and you should try the Philippines. Now, that was one of my buddies that also encouraged me to initially go to Thailand. And then after watching some videos on YouTube, I met Rike. And Rike was over there in the Philippines, right? And so I was watching his videos and I was like, okay, this is really interesting. And he said, all right, well, if you're coming over here, let's meet up. So he and I met up, and he and I discussed, like what the people were like there, what the girls were like there, because I was single, and I was like, okay, well, am I ever going to meet my next girlfriend? Am I ever going to meet a wife? Am I ever going to, all these things, right? And so, so I was just basically touring the world and meeting people along the way, like you would do, I met girls in San Diego too. And so there was this draw, right? Because the women were like exotic, and especially the Thai women, of course, because, they had this different language, and they looked much different, of course, than, the average, if you will, American woman. And you can put whatever sort of label on that you might think, but, let's say for the sake of argument, blonde, right? And if I said California girl to you, you would have an idea of what that is in your mind. Okay, so let's say that we're going with that. And then if I say Thai girl, then you put that idea in your mind. And one could argue that the two are probably a little bit different, at least a little bit. In my mind, they were significantly different. Definitely personality, but also looks and behavior and the way that the relationship works, the role of the man, the role of the woman. Much more defined, I would submit, over in this culture, and it fit a lot better to what I was looking for. And so, again, that was a higher priority. And I went to the Philippines, and so I met some people over there and girls over there, and I was like, this is fantastic. And then I met Gracie, and again, I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to meet a girl that I'm going to want to spend the rest of my life with. But of course, I don't know about you guys, but when you do, it seems like a lot of us have met that one, and then we always reflect on it and say, well, when we met, I actually wasn't looking for someone to spend, but I did, right? And so serendipitously, I met Gracie, and we chatted every single day, as we do now, for 3 months. From the minute I left, like to get on the bus, to get on the boat, to get on the plane, to get on the, right? And so I was doing that, and chatting. And I was chatting all the way through basically March, because my plan was in March, I was gonna fly back there. And I'll go through this in a different video, but the short answer is the flight got completely screwed up. And my week vacation, or my week that I was going to go see Gracie, would have turned into basically 4 days of going to see Gracie. And I didn't feel really confident in Philippine Airlines' competence in their plane maintenance as well as their customer service skill set. So I said, forget it. And so came home, and then my luggage showed back up at my house 3 weeks later after it had made a world trip. But I ended up staying in touch with her. And bless her heart, she believed me, thank goodness. It was touchy there, but I said, no, seriously, I'm not lying to you. I promise I'm coming to the Philippines. Finally showed up in the Philippines in September of that year, and we spent, basically about a week together, which was not long enough, but whatever. Chatted every single day. And then that September, and then about a few months later, then from that point on, I mean, it was like, okay, we need to figure out how to spend a lot of time together. And, so that involved sort of saying, all right, well, the default setting that a lot of people might be thinking is, okay, so then you guys set out on a path to get her a visa, right? And then she was going to come over and, live in America with you, right? And, I mean, at the end of the day, we got her a visa. We got her a B1, B2. But no, I told her, I said, look, we're going to do this, but we're also going to do a lot of other stuff. And the goal is to not make it easier for you to come to San Diego. The goal is to make it easier for me to come here. Because, yeah, it'll be good for you to see America, right? Or at least parts of America that I go to and want to show her. But, I don't want to live in America long term. I want to be an American, and I want to have a U.S. passport, and I want to have allegiance to where I grew up, because I still believe it is the best country in the whole entire world. It's got a lot of imperfections, as does every place, not the least of which is the fact that I'm sitting in a fountain that has no water in it. So there's plenty of imperfection everywhere, right? But I really like being an American, and I really like having a U.S. passport. And I really like having no hair. I mean, I like a lot of things that are in my life. I like this shirt a lot, which is why I chose it to wear it this morning. So there are many things in my life that I just am so honored to be a part of. And being an American is one of those. I have been lucky enough to be born with the ability to get the passport I have, to be able to travel everywhere that I can, because it also afforded me the ability to get the education that I have, to be able to get the job that I have, to be able to save enough money to travel where I go. So, with all that said, my priorities then, after I meet Gracie and we go through it changed significantly. Why do I bring that up now? I bring that up because I am now back in Pattaya, and I have come back to Pattaya several times since meeting Gracie. And believe me, it's difficult sometimes for even my friends that really know and trust me and love me to believe them. It's difficult for them to believe me when I say, yeah, I'm going to Pattaya for a week because I really love the meetings. I can't wait to get to the beach and get out of Bangkok. I have banking to do there. You know, they're like, right. And I'm like, I get it, man. You know, it's probably also, you know, pretty hard to believe that some people meet me, they're like, right, you're sober. So I get it, right? I mean, it's like the outward appearance of, you're kind of crazy, Mike. You're a little bit, you know, animated. We think you're on drugs. No, whatever. Don't judge a book, right? But you know, look, I'm not doing this video so that you'll believe me. The point is, here I'm telling you that my priorities have changed, and I'm sort of taking as objective as a view I possibly can of my life, because there's obviously bias. And saying, it's interesting, I don't like to do that anymore, and I don't like to do that anymore, and I don't really like to go to that place anymore, but I really like to go to this place, and God, you know, I just like put it down in my calendar, like I am making a concerted effort to actually try out this new meeting, or I'm gonna go check out this coffee shop, or I'm gonna do more videos, like that's more of a priority in my life now, or I'm gonna share the fact that I'm having this realization of how my priorities have changed. And I'm sure, you know, you could label it as, well, yeah, Mike, you're older, or yeah, you're getting old, dude. or you're retired, or you're not retired, or you're retiring, or you're changing careers, or you're having a midlife crisis. I mean, one could argue, if you were to label my life now as a midlife crisis, that my priorities would be significantly different than they are right now, related to my relationship with Gracie, because I am, you know, I'm it. Or she's it for me. Like, I'm a one-woman guy now. And I couldn't be happier. I mean, it is so awesome. You know, she gives me everything I need, and I like to think that I give her everything she needs. And she, you know, it's a partnership, dude. We're this team. Shortly after we met, she made these hats. They're just ball caps. I don't have mine with me right now, actually, because I left the silly thing in Bangkok. But on the side of it, it says Team Mackie, and Mackie is a combination of Mickey, which is at the end. A lot of my friends call me Mickey. And her full name is Mary Grace. It's not Gracie. So Mickey and Mary, basically together, is Mackie. And so we are Team Mackie. And she made these hats and had it embroidered and gives them to me. And I don't care what it costs, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40. That's one of the best gifts she's ever given, I've ever received in my life. It's like, okay, dude, so here is like our team. Like, this is our logo. We're each other's mascot. We got each other's back. We're planning our future. You know, and I'll tell you right now, I shared this, I'll end with this, is I shared this statement with one of my friends, David, back home. Because he, I love the guy like crazy, and he, like me for a while, was struggling to find a woman that could be his teammate, that would just be like, look, dude, let's grab a backpack, or let's grab something to drink, or let's not do it together, let's do our separate things, but with the same goal in mind. You're gonna be over here, I'm gonna be over here, we may be doing this, but we're also going in the same direction of up, and then we'll get together, and then we'll share it, it'll be awesome. And then we'll continue doing it on together as a team. And the phrase that Gracie shared with me, which I absolutely adore, I said, all right, well, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. And her expectation is that I have a plan, and that basically I'm in charge, I'm the guy that's going to be in charge, and I'm going to kind of set the goals, and I'm going to have the funding for it, and, you know, it's going to be the team's funding, because, you know, that's how it works. And I said, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. And what she said was, just put me in your pocket. She's like, just put me in your pocket, Mike. And God, that was cool, man. So, and I know she watches these videos, and so, you know, hey, you're awesome, honey. So anyway, it's Mike's from livemyassoff.com saying, I hope you're living the dream. Because if you're not living the dream, there is a slight chance. I'm not saying your relationship has to be like mine or needs to be like mine or whatever. But I'll just say this. One of the reasons I'm living the dream, how about that, is because my girlfriend, my mate, my partner, my teammate, when I say I think we should go to place X, her response is, just put me in your pocket. She's in my pocket. I hope you have someone really, really awesome in your pocket.